Reform Committee announced 22% growth in tax revenues with revenues reaching 4 trillion dinars. Why is that important? Remember, Iraq's valuation is based off of oil. That's not true. There's non-oil and there's tax revenues, now. That valuation at $3.22 for the dinar back a long time ago was based off only oil. Now they have non-oil. They have growth. There's not even talking about gas. Iraq has a massive amount of revenue streams. Keep that in mind when it comes to the valuation, a real effective exchange rate. Because they're going to be able to use real fundamentals. Take it seriously, this is for real, it's going to be big money and it's going to have a global impact. Iraq is international without a doubt. The problem is they have not released the reason why you are international yet. That will be a new exchange rate with a new denomination of currencies called the lower notes. Iraq moves towards globalization. Implementation of international accounting standards begins in 2026. Is there a new USDN? No new US currency called USDN has been officially announced by the US Department of the Treasury. A new US currency USDN has been debunked as a false claim. Seriously, this has been a roller coaster ride and none of us are in need of more dinar mythology. There are no redemption centers, no 800 numbers, no notifications, no USDN, no contract rates, no bank is coming to your house to exchange your currency, no $75 IQD, no $2 VND, no 6,000 redemption centers, and no bonds. Get a grip. This will be a no fanfare, no crowds, no public announcement, quiet event. Calm down and don't fall for this foolishness. The RV will not be televised. The 23rd of February 2025 Intel Guru Frank 26. I love the fact that Saleh is constantly coming out every day to talk to you Iraqi citizens about the success of their banking and monetary reform education. This time he tells the Iraqi citizens that banking reform is going through a major change. I call it a paradigm shift. It is tremendous what is going on. You're not just a financial hub. There are so many ways he can tell you Iraqi citizens that there is a new exchange rate coming, but the evidence is all around you. Emo, every day there's an announcement on your television in order to soften the shock of what is soon to be announced, a new exchange rate. The 23rd of February 2025 Newshound Guru Samson article, reports more Reform Committee announces 22% growth in tax revenues, with revenues reaching 4 trillion dinars. The 23rd of February 2025 Newshound Guru Sandy Ingram. The Trump administration is pressuring Iraq. Iraq is bracing for a possible increase in US sanctions. Article, Trump pressuring Iraq to restart Kurdish oil exports via Turkey or face sanctions. The Trump administration during the past 2 weeks has sent Iraq direct messages to dismantle armed factions. The number of sanctioned banks reached 28 out of 44 banks operating in Iraq. The Trump administration is putting pressure on Iraq to dismantle, disarm and disconnect from Iran on all levels. Trump gives Baghdad a choice: export Kurdistan's oil or face sanctions like Iran. There is a plan and there is a way to get the oil flowing. This tells us there's clear pressure on Iraq to stay the course. This news is somewhat intense. It suggests power players are making sure Iraq stays on board with her reforms. I suspect this pressure is going to be used to keep Iraq on track and get this going. The heat is up and I like it. It's good. There's an economic expert on the television. He's asking us Iraq citizens some questions regarding the exchange rate of our currency. He went on for 20 minutes talking about the pros and cons of what we're about to do, and he reminded us that at one time the dinar was $3.30. Then we see new information commercials talking about the new national bonds. Mr. Sami says this is another way to get the citizens to bring in their 30 notes that many are hoarding in their homes. Frank, they are pushing the idea to buy the bonds. They use their 30 notes, the push to bring in as many 3-0 notes as possible is also another loud indicator of a change that's coming. Some more good news is that issue no. 4814, of the Iraqi Gazette was published on the 17th of February 2025. It included Law No. 4, of 2025 First Amendment to the Federal General Budget Law of the Republic of Iraq for the fiscal years 2023 to 2024-2025, No. 13, of 2023. Also, they just told us the budget will not yet be open as there are technical issues yet to resolve with the Kurds. Like I told everyone that the RV rate will not ever be in the budget, the law is passed and in the Gazette and still no RV. I assure you with 1000% certainty that this event is not going to trigger the RV. The new dinar rate was not in the Gazette today, Saturday. The CBI has been showing some different rates lately, it even went to 1,322 in the wee hours. But it is not staying there. There is a lot pointing to the fact they are working on it, but not a lot pointing to us going to the banks on Monday. The head of the Strategic Center for Human Rights in Iraq, Fadel al-Gharawi, confirmed today, Sunday, that Iraq ranked 148th globally in combating corruption. Al-Gharawi said in a statement received by Euphrates News, a copy of it, that Iraq witnessed remarkable progress in combating corruption during the period between August 2023 and July 2024, according to what was shown by the second report of the program to follow up on trials of major corruption cases, which was prepared by the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, in cooperation with the Supreme Judicial Council. He added, the year 2024 witnessed the follow-up of 170 cases before the Central Criminal Court for combating corruption, compared to 150 cases in 2023, which reflects a 13% increase in the number of cases under consideration, and 80 rulings issued by the criminal and misdemeanor courts of integrity were reviewed, bringing the total number of cases followed up and reviewed to 250 cases. Regarding the number of convictions, Al-Gharawi said, the number of convicted defendants increased from 231 defendants in 2023 to 371 defendants in 2024, an increase of 140 defendants, or 60.6%. The number of convictions also increased from 63 to 73, an increase of 10, or 15.9%. He explained that the number of cases returned to investigation decreased from 21 cases in 2023 to 19 cases in 2024, and the number of cases returned for retrial decreased from 10 cases to only 4 cases. In addition, trials in absentia witnessed a significant decrease, reaching 19 cases, 11%, compared to 32 cases, 21%, in 2023. Al-Gharawi pointed out that according to the report, the cases under consideration included a number of ministries and government agencies, with the Ministry of Industry and Minerals topping the list with 28 cases, followed by the Ministry of Finance with 17 cases, and the Baghdad municipality with 14 cases, in addition to 12 cases in the Ministry of Justice, while 8 cases were registered against the Investment Authority. He explained that 65% of the cases were concentrated in Baghdad, where the number of cases increased from 72 cases in the first year to 111 cases in the second year. Anbar Governorate also entered the list of registered cases with 13 cases, while other governorates such as Babil, Nineveh, and Karbala witnessed an increase in registered cases. Calling for legislative reforms that include expanding the definition of corruption crimes to include influence peddling and bribery in the private sector, enhancing transparency and accountability in institutions that suffer from high rates of corruption.